pair of identical twins and notice the intense, almost magical connection between them. Maybe it's the little girl in me who grew up watching the Olsen twins, which Darcey and Stacey ridiculously claim people sometimes mistake them for, but I think Darcey and Stacey have that magical connection. Your eyes are drawn to them and their fake plastic faces like a car crash. Except it's better than a car crash. It's on reality television, which means it's never gonna end. Darcey and Stacey are two of the most successful people of all time. And I say that because I know their lifelong goal was to be famous, and they have unquestionably achieved that goal. Together, they've appeared on over 9 seasons of reality television, including getting their own spin-off show of just the two of them. With 2.8 million followers on Instagram, Darcey and Stacey have cultivated a very profitable online audience. But lurking under the surface of these puffed up plastic barbified reality stars is a toxic twin dynamic, layered with competitiveness, jealousy, entitlement, and desperation. The twins have been known to have volatile fights with each other, and when they're not fighting each other, they're fighting their boyfriends or their husbands, having huge blow-ups, escalating to the point where police have to get involved. I first discovered Darcey and Stacey on 90 Day Last Resort, and immediately became fascinated with these two in the crazy, self-produced, fake world they've built around themselves. Buckle up. It's time to go down the Darcey and Stacey rabbit hole. Some people may wonder, how did these girls get on TV? Well, they have talent, like being able to improvise song lyrics.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. We're gonna walk down that aisle. I said I do. I said I do. I said I do. I do.
And the Grammy goes to...
And competing with each other over Florian.
You can call Florian all you want. Hang out with him. He's my brother-in-law. Take him.
They're in touch with their inner soap opera star, which just so happens to be the key factor the 90-day casting department looks for. But like many reality stars, they dabbled in this and that before making their debut on reality television, scoring executive producer credits and a cameo on a film financed by their dad called White Tea. I think a more appropriate name for that movie would have been Bad Accents.
Did you fellas bring anything to wear for the performance?
I'm just being friendly. Hey, cheers. You gorgeous fellows, here we go.
Don't you let him in and us? You wanna get in?
This would not lead to additional starring roles for Darcey and Stacey, but that's okay, because they had something to fall back on. In 2010, a production company called 360 Digital Studios debuted what would eventually turn into a very successful reality television career for Darcey and Stacey, filming a sort of pilot / super trailer to shop around to different networks.
I'm Darcey. And I'm Stacey. And did I mention we're twins and we live under one roof?
I think it's very vital to rock on rock. That's right. Here we go.
Honestly, the ladies are kind of upstaged by Darcey's first husband, Frank, an up-and-coming rapper.
My husband Frank is a new up-and-coming rapper. Happy babe.
She's my #1 fan.
This should give you an early hint about the kind of men Darcey is into.
Here we are at Native Studio, about to do the Twin Life soundtrack. It's gonna be hot.
In essence, with their presence, simply setting the pace. Scanning camera panning as they enter the place. With their guy nationwide, they truly
Yeah.
When I tell her, I mean every single quote. It's all about the girls, cause I meant what I wrote. Throw them a parade, let them have their own flow.
It's honestly a crime against humanity. Nobody picked this up, and we never get to see more of Frank, who will be referred to 15 years later on TLC by Darcey as not particularly financially motivated while they were married, and he becomes the next Eminem. I don't think you'd be saying the same thing. Stacey's first husband was on the Twin Life pilot Supertrailer as well. Interestingly, both Darcey and Stacey divorced their spouses around the same time. They both ended up having 2 kids around the same time as each other, have spent most of their lives living together, and have always worked together. There's a real lack of individuality in the first half of their lives that I think is going to set them up down the road for a volatile competitiveness. This and their preference for younger men.
My mom, she has a specific type. She likes young foreign men.
Gets the attention of Sharp Entertainment, the production company that makes 90 Day Fiancé and all of its spin-offs.
I'm Darcey, I'm 42 years old. I'm currently living in Middletown, Connecticut.
There's also one more thing Darcey and Stacey are known for. In fact, I think this is what they are most known for, and that is their plastic surgery.
For us, we see it as a good pick-me-up after a breakup or a hard time. Lift our spirits up and lift our bodies up. Yeah. I would like to get more of a refined, pointier nose, lip lift, round, nicer shape. I want to have a small waist, kind of like the hourglass.
In a day and age where we have celebrities like the Catwoman and the Bogdanov twins, may they all rest in peace, there is a lot of interest in Darcey and Stacey's habit of getting plastic surgery. Pretty much anytime they post on social media, the comment section is filled with people talking about the plastic surgery or them changing their appearance. There's an entire subreddit dedicated to on them, mostly for their appearance, playing out fantasies she's a desirable woman. This is just downright hateful, but the silver lining is, you know you've made it when there's an entire subreddit dedicated to hating you. Like, that's basically the influencer version of SNL doing a sketch about you. I mean, like, they are achieving their goal. When the twins first show up in the 90 Day world on Before the 90 Days season 1, you can see the difference from their childhood photos to their debut on the show. They have already altered some things. But when they go together to get work done in Turkey, this, for me, is the jumping off point for when they're really starting to enter cat lady territory. They arrive home from Turkey, and you can see on Florian's face, his expression is pure shock.
Is it better?
Yeah, it's good.
Watching them get their teeth shaved down to nubs is an experience. Did I say experience? I meant horror show. It is absolute nightmare fuel. I thought I was gonna pass out when the drill noises started. At the point that Stacey's full nubs were out and showing, my soul left my body. I could not believe that they were showing this on TV. It is wild. Almost as wild as Stacey, high off her ass, sending a nubs video to Florian.
Hey, baby, you still love me with these teeth? Mwah.
Also, is it legal for production companies to film people when they're this clearly f***ed up?
I got a new mouth. I feel like I'm talking different. I feel like I'm smelling different, tasting different. I got a whole new sense about me.
The me I was always meant to be. A Darcey Silva biography. You can have that for free, Darce. I'm sure they're bound for a book deal at some point in the future. The twins don't tend to engage much with the comment section when it comes to their appearance, but I do find it fascinating the way they've sort of downplayed getting all of the very dangerous surgeries. It is dangerous anytime you go under anesthesia. You could die. With their catchphrase,
and I'm ready to get snatched. Like that, snatched.
Like more like snatched.
More snatched.
Snatched to the gods.
I still don't know what snatched means, by the way. If one of you youngins could let the elder millennial know, that would be great.
I feel like we improve each time we do it.
There is clearly a severe amount of insecurity going on to where you are constantly dissatisfied with your own face and your body. And the girls do bring up their childhood a lot and how they were bullied, mostly for their appearance and how different they looked.
When we're in school, some people would make fun of us. They would call us troll dolls or munchy cheese because, you know, we had curly hair, we were quiet. So that's why we want to be the better version of ourselves.
Stacey has also been open on the show about how she has vitiligo, a skin condition where you have white or light-colored spots on the skin. Before I did some research on them, I actually first noticed this while she was on Last Resort after they had the big hiking episode, you might have noticed it. But this is another thing that they have talked about, Stacey being bullied for. Darcey and Stacey's dad is Cabo Verdean, and their mother is of Eastern European descent, which I think is where their hair probably looked a little different than their classmates growing up. They are very striking and beautiful young women. I think that's one of the reasons the changes have caught the attention of so many viewers. The fact that most of us think they didn't need all of these changes to their face, but it seems like they can't stop. Honestly, Darcey and Stacey look amazing in their first few seasons on Before 90 Days. Whatever initial work they had done worked. They were hot, they looked young, they looked beautiful, but they haven't been able to stop. Darcey and Stacey have had their breasts augmented, gotten their noses done, gotten BBLs, veneers, cheek filler, liposuction, lip filler, neck lifts. That, in the combination of heavy filters they tend to use on social media, has a very cartoony effect. And this, of course, leads to more negative comments about their appearance, which I fear feeds into whatever is making them get plastic surgery. So it's just a continuous negative loop. Since their life goal has always been to be famous, I do think society needs to own a small part of this, just for hating the shit out of old people and wrinkles. They also get a lot of comments sometimes where people are worried how this is impacting their children, specifically Darcey's daughters, who are more prominent on the show, and who it looks, at least one of them has begun to go down a similar path to her mom and aunt. I totally understand people being like, ooh, is this healthy to show your kids this is what we're supposed to be doing here? Before we get further into Darcey and Stacey's world, there are several characters to take note of, starting off with Florian, Stacey's boo.
Florian and I met 4.5 years ago on social media. He was a 25-year-old fitness model from Albania. I was definitely concerned about our age difference.
Florian arrives on the scene and his excitement is palpable.
I'm happy to be here, start new life with Stacey, and so happy, so excited.
Well, you could show a little more emotion. I thought he'd be a little more excited.
Florian is actually one of, if not the favorite of all the various boyfriends and husbands.
Santa Claus is for New Year's, not for Christmas. In general, Santa Claus is come for Christmas? Huh?
Yes.
His deadpan, no to give monotone personality helps balance out the craziness of the twins. And he's also basically the only comedic relief we're given when it comes to this world.
You gotta get a job.
I want to beat him so bad. Georgi reached out. You have this idea is to go outside to play some soccer. To be honest, to play soccer in snow is a very dumb decision.
Florian often plays the role of mysterious hot guy. He is a man of few words, but also a man of many shushes.
Yeah.
Shut up.
God, somebody's taking it out of me. I don't feel like your mouth. Do you just...
It's like this guy watched a lot of Caesar the Dog Whisperer before he came on. And the crazy thing is, the doggy discipline noise works. It totally shuts them up.
Yeah.
But Florian the Twin Whisperer meets his match with Raina, every boyfriend's worst nightmare.
No, don't tell me to
Raina comes flying onto our television screen carrying a wine glass and a flamethrower.
He's so much better looking than your ex. I do you, Tom.
She's obviously bonded with Darcey over their mutual love and respect for alcohol. Where there's Raina, there will be a glass of wine. Or, better yet, probably where there's a glass of wine, there will be Raina. Hey, feeling down? Can't get yourself up? Raina's got a message for you.
Just be strong, bitch. Be strong.
Yeah.
Basically, Raina's awesome. She also just speaks the truth.
I'm seeing a pattern from Darcey that she is choosing the same types of men.
Darcey and Stacey's dad, Mike, gets a bunch of screen time on spin-off show, especially. I think he's supposed to represent the voice of the audience.
Why are you getting married? She's got to get her life in order. You're not there.
He's never wrong about anything, but he is a buzzkill. Papa Silva admittedly left at some point in Darcey and Stacey's adolescence. He's been living in other countries for a large portion of their adult lives, yet still, he cannot stand being around Darcey and Stacey's antics. Every balloon they blow up, he bursts. And it's particularly baffling because he chooses to bankroll their lives. He lets them and Darcey's 2 daughters live in his house. He paid for a movie and gave them producer credits on it. And yet, every time he's around them, it seems he wishes he wasn't around them.
70 plus 29 equals 99. Happy birthday!
Did you just make that song up?
Yeah.
We heard it once, that's enough.
Mike admits the girls sort of take after him when it comes to their messy relationships.
I've made my mistakes in life. I've been divorced 3 times.
But for me, I feel like they also very clearly take after their mom, Nancy, who is still holding a candle for Mike, who left her like decades ago. I just kind of feel like, ooh, did she sort of model for them how to spend your whole life chasing after unavailable men? Minor footnote, throughout their reality TV career, Stacey's 2 boys have been mostly absent from the cameras, while Darcey's 2 daughters, Aspen and Aniko? Don't ask me how to pronounce it because everybody on the show pronounces it different at different times, so not my fault. Before the 90 Days era, after the success of 90 Day Fiancé, Sharp Entertainment was filming one of their most popular couples, David and Annie, in Thailand when they came up with the idea to do Before the 90 Days, a spin-off show that would focus on couples before they started their K-1 visa process. Instead of filming in America, the show would take audiences around the world as we watched over and over again the same fish out of water experiment.
This has been overwhelming for me, such a cultural difference.
Season 1 followed 6 couples, including Darcey and Jessie, a 24-year-old personal trainer from Amsterdam.
He just had this level of maturity. He has his own company doing personal training. Jesse's a charmer.
This is not a real relationship until the cameras turn on. When they meet at the airport in Amsterdam for the first time in person, Darcey and Jessie appear to know almost nothing about each other and seem to have developed zero rapport with each other. Jessie sees himself as a hero. He puffs his chest out and often takes the moral high ground during their fights, which really adds to the soap opera tantrums he throws when he doesn't get his way. It's not just a pretty man having a meltdown over cutting a steak. It's a pretty man who thinks he's Bruce Wayne having a meltdown over cutting a steak.
I was doing the steak, you were doing the rice and the salad. You ruin everything.
By far, the most interesting thing about Jessie is his crazy parents, who have their own unique fashion sense and their own unique sense of how hot their son is.
Yeah, he is kind of beautiful. When you walking down the street in Amsterdam, I know, I heard from Mom. He's getting those underwear thrown at him all over the streets.
The very first time Jessie brings Darcey over to meet his mom and stepdad, they awkwardly point out Darcey isn't in the same league looks-wise.
She is not on the same league as you are.
Jessie's stepdad is like, look, our boy is a hunk. He's a JTT level Tiger Beat hottie. Tiger Beat magazine cover. They said, you got the Devon Sawa hair, and we need the Devon Sawa hair. You're like, how do you say mid? Mid? That's what the Americans say. Our boy, he got everywhere he goes. Women rip their bras off. They throw it at him. They say, see my titties, see my titties. That's our boy. He's that hot. Do men do that to you? Even do men rip their drawers off and wave their p***s at you? They probably don't because he's kinda hot. You are kinda mid. Jessie defends her by responding,
Nobody's perfect.
The show artificially imposes this goal of getting engaged onto all the Before the 90 Day couples. So I knew they were in trouble when, after spending an entire season of Darcey thirsting after an engagement ring, Jessie gave her a promise ring.
I want to show you my appreciation, but this is not an engagement ring.
So what do we call this? Like pre-engagement?
I told you 4 times. Whatever you want to call it, all right?
Off camera, Darcey dumps Jessie on social media, and it makes him mad. Then they, of course, get back together because It's only season 1. They've got a whole other season to film. The weirdest aspect of this age gap relationship is how Darcey acts like the kid and Jessie acts like the parent. He literally grounds her from using social media, and Darcey's like, you can't take away my social media. I love him, Daddy. He tells her she's not allowed to drink anymore.
And I still never drink again.
I don't need to be talked down to. Please stop. I don't need to be, belittled.
Another issue is how Darcey pushes Jessie to take on a stepfather role. There's a lot of, we have to get along for the kids type comments. Obviously, she needs somebody who's ready to be a step-parent, but there's also this sense of well, maybe this 24-year-old shouldn't be forced into playing the role of daddy unless it's something he really wants. And you can tell they don't really want it, which is why the partner with the kids is always having to push it. Although, it never stops them from wanting kids of their own.
I want children myself.
They have a huge blow up over steak. Yes, you heard that right. Steak. I'm serious. Never in my life did I think I would hear the words cut on the bias so many times.
You gotta cut it on a bias, babe. So if you cut it on the bias, so if you cut it on a bias that is slant,
I'm done.
kind of at a bias.
I wonder if one of the things that makes Jessie so mad is just hearing the word bias over and over again. Jessie has a full-blown meltdown over not being able to prepare the steak. He wants to prepare it. Not that it's all his fault. I mean, if Darcey was doing that to me while I was cutting a steak, I would have lost it too. But still, when you look back, you're like, oh, meltdown over steak. Okay. Their meltdown continues into the morning, where we learn Darcey has thrown her shoes at Jessie, while production is basically filming the end of their relationship.
Her shoes at me, so...
No, I tossed them at the floor.
She grabs her Louis Vuittons and she throws them at me. It's an assault. Listen, I'm going away from you. I'm going to call the police.
When it comes to the breakup, Jessie goes out with a bang. He makes sure he gets his moment in the sun, flying all the way out to do the breakup in person so that they can fit it into the season. What a team player. And I really do mean that. After Jessie goes, it is going to be a steady stream of less entertaining partners. Nobody will ever compare to the Jasmine-esque antics Jessie gives us.
I just came here for you. And did you come here for me?
But Darcey immediately sort of sniffs out this isn't a bout of spontaneous love. It sort of blows up whatever Jessie had scripted in his head ahead of time for the breakup.
Yeah, I'd rather get out the car and he can stay on this trip. I'll go back to Connecticut.
I want to get out right now.
You didn't come here in the name of love. You came here to end things.
I came here out of respect and integrity.
I can't believe I came for all this crap. You don't love me. You never did, you liar. Get out of my life.
Then Jessie's like, wait, I didn't fly all the way out from Amsterdam to have a 5-minute breakup in the car.
I just want to have I can never have a good conversation with you.
Darcey keeps insisting she doesn't want him to control the breakup, but then they just keep yelling at each other, and I'm like, Darcey, you're giving him what he wants. This is what he wants. He wants the yelling and the screaming.
But you have a drinking problem.
I don't have a
It's being
drinking
affected
problem.
by.
But actually, it's exactly what Darcey wants too.
No, I didn't. Are you kidding me? God is gonna strike you.
So there's nothing that can be done. It's only episode 10 in the season, and they have so much more to give, including fighting one more time over whether they banged the night of the breakup or not.
Last night, we got intimate.
Did you have sex with Darcey last night?
No.
Jessie ends up being such an explosive cast member, they actually bring him back in the season 3 reunion after Darcey's already spent an entire season moving on to her next boyfriend. Jessie fights with the rest of the cast in the green room before he even makes it out on stage.
How do you not see that you're adding drama? You think you're doing some good deal?
This is back when 90 Day did a lot more individual reunion segments. They would have a brief everyone together reunion segment, but a lot of them were just the couple. Then they figured out, oh my god, all the fireworks are when we push them all together, and they stopped doing that, and now they're just basically always all together on stage. But back in the day, they would huddle them all together in the green room and bring one couple out to talk to that couple while the people in the green room watched. Well, when this was going down, everybody just went after Jessie, except for one cast member.
Don't y'all bullying this man. But I'm not gonna sit here and hear y'all jump this man.
Angela, of all people, comes out as Jessie's defender. If you weren't sure how terrible Jessie is, having Meemaw Voldemort be his sole defender should give you a hint. Jesse will actually never fully leave Darcey and Stacey's TLC world. They love him so much, they bring him back any chance they get. But having Jesse as a permanent thorn in their asses is a small price to pay for their influencer fame. Like all great reality stars, Darcey and Stacey have monetized their brand. This is Darcey's latest post while I'm editing this video. I invite you to get Darcified. Oh God, please no. They often do paid partnerships like this one with Beauty Fix Med Spa, where someone just learned about the Zoom button. Actually, they do a lot of Botox and beauty improvement type advertisements.
I'm loving the Darcey doll package from Face by Servina.
It's kind of interesting that they still have companies that want to work with them, considering how they're on the severe end of the Botox and plastic surgery spectrum. I am someone who has been in that maybe I will, maybe I won't camp since I left my lower 30s. And frankly, seeing a Botox spa I was considering be promoted by Darcey and Stacey would 100% make me cancel my appointment. Obviously, everyone's entitled to do whatever they want with their appearance, but like I said, I have noticed on social media Darcey's oldest daughter has appeared to start to go down the same path. Darcey and Stacey have chosen to completely abandon the blueprints their faces were built off of, and even profit from it, which is a little go girl. But at the same time, isn't this epidemic of plastic barbified celebrity faces that all look the same, isn't it kind of like a scourge on the earth? Is this really good? Can we really say this is like a positive thing? Make all your faces look like creepy alien Barbies. No. Of course, are you even an influencer if you're not filming yourself at some point in Dubai?
We're Darcey and Stacey and we came here from the States. We finally made it to Dubai.
How much will a 2-bedroom apartment cost you in Miami?
In Miami, this
It
would
can go
cost
anywhere from
1
1 to
million
1.5 million.
1.5 million.
I will give you two-bedroom apartments.
Wow. So you're saying just paying 1%
Per month?
per month and we can own our house?
Absolutely.
Wow. Mr. Rizwan, we're sold.
Not good when old Blue Jacket is out acting the shit out of you.
Wow.
I don't understand how people like Darcey and Stacey and the Codys and Robins of this world, how are they still so bad at acting?
They need you in their life.
Perhaps because of the bad acting, the main thing Darcey and Stacey spend their time shilling is their online fashion brand, House of 11. The twins formed their company back in 2011.
My twin sister Stacey and I co-founded our clothing brand called House of 11 in honor of our beloved brother Michael, who had passed away from a very rare form of cancer. We called it House of 11 because he was born May 11th and passed July 11th.
The empire that is House of 11 sometimes seems more like a hobby daddy's paid for than a super thriving and viable business. The clothes on their website seem way overpriced. I mean, $85 for a gray zip-up hoodie? That's like 2 cartons of eggs right there. Even the cheap trucker hats are $45 plus shipping. Like, what are these hats made out of? Eggs? I can't stop with the egg jokes. I sometimes like to dabble in buying something from these people I spend my life obsessing over, so I did peruse the clothing options, and, well, let's just say I am not their target audience. Sort of like, if you're not in the market for a tiny nightie made out of a bedazzled volleyball net, it's not a lot to choose from. Probably in their minds they're thinking, okay, if a lesbian does happen to accidentally stumble onto our website, here's our 3 trucker hats to choose from, lesbians. Except it's $45 for a trucker hat. That goes against the entire principle of trucker hats. Like, $5 or less, man. Ideally, a trucker hat should come from an old person's closet. And by old person, I mean millennials. Me. I'm the old person. Check this out. All American Rejects, baby. Can you help me find?
Wow.
I have a section in my notes called their music career, but I think I was very generous in adding the word career to that.
I'm on top, hair done, nails did. I can't stop. I'm on top.
It's like voices you never heard before.
I'm on top, hair's done, nails did. I can't stop.
I mean, they're not the greatest of singers.
I'm on top.
It's too bad they couldn't get up-and-coming rapper Frank on the track.
Lessons with the presence, simply setting the pace.
I'm sure if he'd been added, this song would have been their Despacito.
Scanning camera panning as they enter the place.
After the big breakup with Jessie, Darcey needed a new international love interest to continue her time on the show. Enter Tom.
You just have this amazing debonairness. You've actually helped me heal.
Darcey is a very emotional person. It's something I'm not used to. It's something that I don't particularly find attractive.
This guy is on the screen for all of 2 seconds before it becomes clear he's a greasy snake oil salesman poser. Compared to Jessie, Tom just doesn't fill his shoes. It's like they found a scarf with a British accent and cast that to be Darcey's season 3 love interest. The only interesting thing about Tom is this. Imagine my surprise when it is revealed that Tom and his sister are amazing salsa dancers.
In salsa dancing, you do dance with numerous people. You know, my hips swaying, and
Really, you're just looking at the sister the whole time. I was so into this and so disappointed when they stopped. It's also amazing that they're brother and sister doing this somewhat romantic dance and managed to make it not creepy. Tom and Darcey are doomed from the start. Tom never shows even a shred of interest or attraction to Darcey. And when Darcey and Stacey have a fight at a bar in Albania based clearly around Darcey's jealousy over Stacey and Florian, Tom takes Stacey's side.
why have you got to be like that with Stacey?
Tom made a beautiful vacation for me.
Don't bring me into this. Why are you being so rude to your sister?
Even though Tom is objectively less attractive than Jessie, he isn't more into Darcey than Jessie was. In fact, he doesn't appear to be into Darcey at all.
I love you.
Anytime his sister or a friend or anyone says something negative about their relationship, he not only agrees with them, he actively yes-ands the people telling them their relationship is all wrong. When his sister says Darcey doesn't even know his favorite color, he doesn't say, oh, we're so in love, and that doesn't matter. He's like, oh, you're right. She doesn't know my favorite color. And that is why she's a fat cow that I can never be with. And because it's 90 days, where fake relationships and terrible relationships combine to form one giant blob of toxicity, Darcey doesn't really like Tom all that much either.
Boarding a plane to the UK to meet my sexy James Bond.
Of course, 2 people who don't actually want to be together end up in quite a lot of conflict.
One minute he's like, I love you. He wants to like see where this goes. He wants to come visit. And then the next minute he's not interested.
I bet if Darcey plotted out all the times Tom said he was in love with her and all the times she felt like he didn't care, there would be a direct correlation to the 90-day filming schedule. Eventually, pictures of Tom with another woman surfaced on social media. On the show, Tom asked Darcey to meet up, and Darcey's like, oh, hell no! I remember this! I see where this is going. Oh, I am not giving you your big breakup scene. She refuses to do a repeat of Jessie flying out to New York, but that rat weasel Tom insists he's not flying out to break up with her. Then, when she confronts him about the new girlfriend, he's just like,
Yeah, I met someone that loves me the way I wanted to be loved.
do you know what she did, Darcey? Do you know what she did? She asked me, I'm sorry, what's your favorite color? Like, you lying mother. This is actually worse than it appears to be on the surface, because he didn't just lie about flying all the way out there to break up with her. He lied about flying all the way out there to break up with her while he was already in another relationship. On top of revealing that he's been cheating on her while breaking up with her, Tom totally tries to one-up Jessie.
I love you like you're my sister.
Oh, well, you should have told me that before we got in the sack.
I'm saying that.
Awkward.
I'm saying.
Really rethinking my they weren't creepy salsa dancing comments from earlier. Tom continues to attempt to upstage Jessie.
Did you put weight on?
What was that? Yeah, good.
Swing and a miss.
Wonderful. Enjoy your life.
Darcey barely even blinks an eye with this. I mean, she gives him nothing. Not even an ounce of what she gave Jessie. I mean, who can forget? Get out of my life! I'm personally will never forget it. This Tom breakup isn't even a footnote in memorable 90-day breakups. Darcey blocks Tom, but the scarf with a British accent tries one last time to upstage Jesse, driving all the way out to Connecticut so he can deliver a letter he wrote to make things right after the nasty things he said yesterday.
Going to give you a letter. I'd like you to have it and read it.
I came to give you a letter so that you can read it. Letters are for reading. You read them and then you insert them into your head as if they have been said. Darcey, it has come to my attention that you are a complete self-serving total hag twat, and I would like to take this moment to thank you for making me a Z-list reality star and sharing some of your really great fame with me. We were meant to be the Sonny and Cher of 90-day reality TV. In the end, you didn't know my favorite color. What a limp noodle, watery eggs joke of a reality star. Jesse walked so Tom could crawl on his belly like the snake that he is. In the reunion, it comes out, Tom immediately started sliding into the DMs of every single female cast member on the show.
I was hitting on you. Be honest, I was hitting on you.
Good riddance, although I will miss your sister, which apparently is not how the fans were feeling 5 years ago. I went and looked at some of the comments surrounding the Tom era, and people definitely thought the sister had the hots for her own brother.
You'll never hurt my brother. I won't accept it or allow it.
In 2020, the pandemic began to take full effect. Many networks were in dire need of content, and TLC premiered a new spin-off show, Darcey and Stacey. I like to refer to this confusingly as the Darcey and Stacey era. The beginning of this era is marked by the long-awaited arrival of Florian to America. Florian does 3 things once he arrives in America. He calls Stacey his angel, or his boo-boo. He waxes Stacey's legs and upper lip, and he occasionally explodes.
Stop. No, touch the one, no touch. No. Turn it off. Stop, no touch. Are you touch? No touch, nothing.
Probably one of the more famous explosions has to do with the infamous photo shoot Florian and Stacey have in season 1.
Show that snatch jaw. I think a little more movement. Kind of slowly take the jacket off.
Chin up, down. Enough.
Excuse me?
Shut your mouth.
You just talk like that to me here. Stop it. No, shut your mouth.
No, I'm serious. I sometimes lose the control. This is the problem.
This is Florian attempting to build up his modeling portfolio, but the real jumping off point for Darcey and Stacey's spinoff show is the Florian cheating scandal.
There was these pictures online of Florian and some girl. His shirt's off in that picture, and she's got like some lacy thing on.
So some acquaintance, friend, or past hookup of Florian's was either thirsting after her 5 minutes of fame, or if you're in on the self-producing theory, in collusion with the cast to produce the major season 1 storyline. But wait, there's more. After the pictures hit social media, she followed it up with a video. And Stacey isn't too pleased.
Oh, now you're gonna sit here and act all innocent like you didn't do anything wrong. When I confronted him about it, he just doesn't want to talk about it.
The video is pretty tame, this first video that comes out. Not a lot going on in terms of compromise. I mean, he basically is just on a bed, and then he gets up from a bed as soon as he can tell she's filming him. Stacey confronts Florian about the video, but I don't think Stacey is gonna be getting a call from any police departments anytime soon.
This girl told me, come here to...
So she lured you to her room?
She basically kind of tells Florian exactly what he needs to say to get out of this.
Tried to trick you into kiss to make it look like you guys are together.
Yeah.
Tell Mama how the bad lady made you take selfies together and be in her hotel room in bed. This won't be the end of Florian's cheating scandal, but Stacey still chooses to immediately turn around and marry Florian. I'm not sure if it was a band-aid for the cheating scandal or if this was them desperate to find anything to film and they're balls deep in COVID times. Whatever the reason, Stacey and Florian tie the knot.
Florian and Stacey, do you choose to join together in marriage?
Yes.
Then, About 5 seconds later, Darcey's on screen getting an email from hot librarian lady, this time with an even more damning video.
Wait, what? Let me see. What the?
So this might be a good time to introduce you to the theory many fans have come to believe as they have watched Darcey and Stacey on the show. The online conspiracy that Darcey and Stacey have self-produced every single one of their plot lines. Wow. The way these pics and videos are parceled out like bits of cheese in front of a mousetrap just screams fake to me, and I'm going to have a lot more to say about them self-producing plot lines later. Production gets this woman to agree to be on the show. That's, of course, if you're not in on the theory that this is all them working together. If we're to take the show at face value, somehow they're able to get this evil woman who's, I don't know what her goal is, just according to Florian, just trying to ruin Florian's life. They get her to come on the show.
It's not my fault that Florian's sugar wanna taste my honey.
What?
When it comes to the cheating scandal, Florian never really gives off vibes that he cares or is super remorseful.
So I apologize for everything.
You like to talk more these kind of stupid things. Never happen again, trust me, I promise you.
He's annoyed pretty much from the moment Stacey brings it up to him. To this day, anytime it's brought up, he's annoyed. This should be a red flag for Stacey, but
he made a mistake, and I know he loves me.
How? How do you know he loves you? Literally every time he's on screen with you, it looks like he's in line at the DMV. More continues dribbling out as the season goes on.
I just kiss her.
I don't care.
But this too is questionable, as Stacey already has an excuse ready to go when he admits it.
Was it passionate?
Kiss her, I know.
Did you feel anything when you kissed her?
It's not that bad if he wasn't passionate about it. What? This is sad. I'm sorry, boo-boo, I cheated on you. Yes, but was there passion in your thrusts when you were railing her behind my back? Out of all the boyfriends and significant others we meet in their world, in my opinion, the person that gets treated the worst is by far Darcey's final boyfriend, husband, Georgi.
Georgi, that Bulgarian masseuse that I've been talking to.
Georgi is by far the most liked significant other Darcey's ever had on the show. He doesn't bring the fireworks the way Jesse did, but he also doesn't bring that like fake performative thing that Tom and Jesse were so fond of. He also just genuinely seems like a nicer guy. Georgi spends a whole season of their spin-off show being the best sport. He gets shat on by everyone in the cast. He moves to Connecticut to be with Darcey in the middle of the pandemic, then gets told, what a idiot, why would you do that? And bear in mind, I know Georgi's not some nun that just happened to fall in love and now he's being punished for no reason. Georgi was very much looking for a free ride, but the punishment just never seems to fit the crime to me, and it gets harder and harder to watch. Georgi is, for all intents and purposes, a sugar baby.
Bought gym equipment, paying for the rent,
and she got him a fur coat.
At the end of season 1, Georgi proposes to Darcey while he's still married. At the time watching, I was like, this makes no sense. But by the time I finished the spinoff, I was like, okay, actually that made total sense, that he would propose while still married, because Darcey probably told him to propose on the show to her. Because by this point in the timeline, Darcey and Stacey are balls deep in self-producing their own plot lines.
What about this? You gonna marry me?
Yes.
By the end, 75% of the show just feels like lies. It's just hard to find even a shred of authenticity. There is a very lackluster back and forth breakup, get back together, breakup, get back together loop Darcey and Georgi fall into. Again, a lot of fans think this is just Darcey self-producing. I'm sure Darcey watched her first few seasons on the show and realized, oh my god, all of the drama comes from breakups. But whatever it is unrelenting. They, to this day, are still in this loop of breaking up and getting back together. Not to be this person, but I do think it's both. I also think it's not crazy that a narcissistic, volatile, drama-loving person would jump in and out of the same toxic relationship. I mean, don't we all have a Darcey-Georgi situation in our lives? I have a friend of a friend, and guess what? Every time I see him, I learn that our mutual friend has again broken up with her partner, and guess what? Even her getting pregnant did not stop the breakup cycle. One of the Georgi Darcey controversies that is made into a big deal on and off the show is Darcey finding a sock filled with money, specifically $1,400, during the pandemic.
Can I mention the time when you found money stuffed in a sock? Like he hides cash. What the?
So this is clearly a getaway sock, a get out of jail free sock, if you will, and Darcey knows it, which is why she's mad. Can I just say, the best thing about the money sock is that it is revealed during a vehicular booze meetup with Darcey and her friends. They are tailgating in a parking lot, except there's no ball game going on. And I presume after filming was over, they all just drove home. Now, Papa Mike confronts Georgi about the money sock, but frankly, this is like small potatoes to me. The show is acting like it's some shock that Georgi could be using Darcey for money, when that's just so clearly what is happening. So it's not particularly interesting content on the show to have them treating this storyline like Mike's a mob boss and he's like, did you go against the family? It's like, yes, he went against the family. He's using Darcey for money. Can we move on from this? Apparently not. Despite the fact that it should be obvious these younger guys they get into relationships with are using them for money, Darcey and Georgi continue to have huge blow-ups over this issue.
Because I'm doing everything since day one. Gonna take advantage of. Darcey pays for everything.
This is an extremely difficult equation for Darcey to solve. How can I get these young, attractive men to be with me? But like really want to be with me, really be in love with me. And I honestly think if she wasn't paying for anything, she wouldn't even enter the first half of the question. She needs to pay for everything in order to get the young, hot guys. But then she instinctively feels used and doesn't know how to resolve those feelings. The only way this can be solved is if she dates somebody her own age, or if she just accepts I'm always gonna feel kind of used. As mentioned earlier, one of the worst offenses Darcey and Stacey are often criticized for is sort of lying a lot, making their whole life just a made-up lie, or often referred to as them self-producing. I mean, the toxic competitiveness is real. Their family talks about it being present from the time they were young children. But other than that, I think most of what we are presented is production planned or self-production on the part of Darcey and Stacey. Of course, you can't have a reality show without a fake IVF plotline. So we get that in season 2 with Stacey and Florian. Plus, there are all kinds of small moments that don't make sense. When Stacey comes up with the idea to have Darcey meet with Georgi's ex-wife, you can practically see the words written on the page.
He's not saying anything. I don't know who else to ask Stacey. The ex-wife?
And the Oscar goes to...
This goes from Darcey meeting Octavia to Georgi meeting with Jesse, 316 back to Georgi meeting with his own ex-wife, Octavia.
Please tell your fiance to stop hitting me up about your anger issues.
Don't reply to her, that's it.
How about you have a conversation with her? I don't give a about your relationship.
Okay, well, you give a little bit of a fuck. Enough to sign a release to come be on her show, I assume. Octavia didn't think she was going to come on here and talk about how much space her hat is taking up on the screen. Also, I hate to question the validity of anyone's proposal, but...
You want to be with me or no? You gonna marry me?
Not exactly the most passionate proposal. This proposal would definitely not qualify as cheating in Stacey's book. Also, the fact that he proposes so often.
Will you marry me?
Also, when Jesse gets mad at Darcey for not being a better tour guide and not knowing more things about New York.
What is that?
It's a museum.
About what? Art?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No,
what is that? A stadium?
Yes.
For what? New York Jets? Come on, tell me something about the surroundings, babe. I would love to know what everything is, but you don't know, so...
Tell me what restaurant we just passed by on our right, or I am dumping you. The wedding disaster where Stacey and Florian realize they have to get married in the same town they got the license from, that's like an eye roll. Honestly, things fall off a cliff in the last 2 seasons of the Darcey and Stacey spinoff show. It dawned on me that it would save time to make a list of plot lines that I thought weren't fake. And I came up with 2. Georgi not wanting to be on camera anymore.
Georgie's a little apprehensive about coming to the tell-all today. I'm just shocked.
Wow. In this amazing scene with Darcey's matchmaker where she tells Darcey the overly filtered photos she sent her to present to potential dates is basically catfishing.
How would you feel if I showed you a picture of a guy and he looks all young and then when you see him, he's got... Right. Okay. So I kind of need you to give me some photos that are more authentic to who you look. Okay?
That being said, the reason I give them some benefit of the doubt is because a lot of this stuff happens off camera.
How many days do you have to go to jail now?
What do you mean? I don't have to go to jail. What's the problem? Why are you even talking like that?
She got arrested the other day for hitting her sister.
My sister and I, we had gotten in a fight that spiraled out of control.
Stacey and Darcey get arrested for fighting each other. That happens off camera. Nobody sees it. Nobody films it. It was just like a police record that these bloggers found. One of the big blow-ups with Jesse where Darcey infamously throws her shoes at him, that happens off camera before the cameras even arrive. Georgi refusing to be on the season 3 reunion and subsequently basically leaving the show, I don't think that's fake. If anything, Georgi not being on the show sort of leaves a hole in the show. You're like, where's Darcey's significant other? I genuinely believe Darcey and Georgi's relationship is as toxic as it seems. They, to this day, have not stopped breaking up and then getting back together. There seems to be a large group of fans where they have decided that this whole relationship was fake. They believe that it is a business relationship between 2 influencers, and Darcey and Georgi just show up to events, and that's why he looks so miserable when he shows up. It does kind of speak to the way many fans in the 90-Day universe have come to now view these couples on the show. Like, the fact that people think this entire marriage is a sham, I think that says something about where we've come, how far we've come in terms of casting. In season 3 of Before the 90 Days, production started focusing more on the dynamic between Darcey and Stacey, their twin relationship.
I think it's a twin thing.
Are teams
I think
competitive?
Yeah, imagine having 2 Jasmines.
Darcey and Stacey are very complex. When they were first born, they were both wanting attention at the same time, but you could not favor one over the other. But Darcey is more demanding. She's very fiery. Stacey has some of that, but she knows at some point she can turn it off.
Stacey and Florian have been engaged for over 3 years, and I feel like she's taking every opportunity to throw it in my face. He loves me, Darcey. He loves me for life. She's jealous.
I'm sorry, I know production probably told her to do this, but doesn't he love me so much? It's just a little much, Stacey. A little, calm it down here. Pretty much from the moment we meet them on screen, it's clear Darcey is jealous of Stacey and Florian's relationship.
But when you're acting like this, Florian and Stacey, Florian and Stacey, Florian and Stacey.
What's it about me?
It's an obvious issue, but the fan base is sort of split in 2 on who is the good twin and who is the bad twin. I know that's such a binary way to look at it, but that's just what the fan base has kind of done. There is a faction of people who think that Darcey's the more toxic one, and there is a little bit smaller faction that think that Stacey provokes Darcey and she's the more toxic one. Maybe good and bad isn't the way to put it, but like more toxic or less toxic. Darcey is often talked about as the more volatile twin. She's also usually more dramatic.
Get out of my life!
I will say for years now, Darcey has been repeating that I'm 7 minutes older thing. So I think I'm like a sheep, I guess, when it comes to this, the twins. I guess I'm going with the more popular opinion that Darcey is a little bit more toxic than Stacey. The twins do have times where they are there for each other and supportive, and I think they genuinely care about and love each other. Just not as much as they care about and love fame, which means they have to keep stirring up the drama between the 2 of them so that they have stuff to talk about on their reality TV shows. After the 4th season, TLC decided to call it quits on the Darcey and Stacey spinoff show. Post Darcey and Stacey, are they or are Georgi and Darcey not together? That is the perpetual question. We watched Georgi propose on the show like 15 times. Well, they're even messier off the show. Between them following and unfollowing each other on social media, a wedding that took place off camera that none of us saw, it has been damn near impossible to keep up with their relationship. They were together as recent as 3 weeks ago at this, I think, Make-A-Wish event. I'm not gonna say Georgi looks like a hostage here, but he doesn't look thrilled. There is a show airing on TLC right now that has been able to get both twins on under the guise of group therapy for Stacey, Florian, and Darcey. I did an introductory video on 90 Day Last Resort and how they've kind of ripped off White Lotus, if you want to check that out. By the time Darcey arrives on the scene in Last Resort, the toxic twin dynamic is in full effect. They are now fighting over Florian. How is it possible for 2 twins to fight over one husband? Well, for one thing, Florian basically encourages the competition. I mean, he can't even say, "my wife," when asked whose side he's on.
At 3 in the morning, she called Florian, texted Florian. You know, she wanted to like take him away from me. Now it's like a weird triangle.
But like, it's hard for me to deny those. I don't know, like I'm mental, like I'm not gonna like take a side. You know, for me,
Pick my side. My side.
If I didn't know how much of these plot lines were production shenanigans, I'd almost guess that Darcey and Florian have banged. I mean, I honestly cannot think of a thing more toxic for siblings to fight over than a significant other.
Like, you know, calling Florian in the middle of the night. It's not all the time, Stacey.
Yeah, it is.
No, it's not every day,
All
Stacey.
day.
Yeah, it's nice, but not 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning.
The second the therapist didn't chime in and go, that's weird, was the second I realized how useless these therapists are. And I know it's like a therapist thing to like, don't take anyone's side, but this is ridiculous. You've got 2 people who are married and 1 person who isn't. She should be telling Darcey to fuck off. Not to mention,
You talk about me to him all the time. Like when she said, you're better off single. Supposedly, I guess. I don't remember. If it was, it must have been a really long time ago.
this is something Darcey denies, but it's her buddy, Florian, that gave the info up. She's not even willing to say that didn't happen.
She doesn't want to be around me. She wants her own life, separate life.
Of course she wants her own life. She can't even get 1 season of a reality show without you, Darcey. One thing I will say, of course, it's so much easier to blame the person you're not in a relationship with than the person you are in a relationship with. But Florian is the one answering the 4 a.m. calls from Darcey. Do you know how many people just never answer their phone when it's 4 a.m.? One more important thing to add to the Florian Stacey story. As I'm editing and finishing up this video, articles and blog posts and social media posts are coming out that Stacey and Florian may or may not be breaking up, have broken up, are going to break up. This smells familiar, and it smells like Silva. It smells like Silva twin bullshittery. I mean, how hard is it to just confirm to any source or on any social media platform, Florian and I broke up? So I am waiting for official word until I buy this, but it's a thing. It's a thing that's happening. So the major question I find myself asking is, why do Darcey and Stacey struggle so much in their relationships? And I think the answer lies inside their fairly successful reality TV influencer career. Darcey and Stacey are desperate. Desperate for affection, desperate for attention, and desperate for love. Which makes them bright, huge, big red targets for gold diggers. And they aren't idiots. They are absolutely aware of this.
Sometimes I think we just choose the wrong ones because we don't know them.
Their number one desire is to be famous, and this throws a wrench into their lives. This habit they have of constantly self-producing plot lines has actually impacted their real lives. Darcey and Stacey's fight where they got arrested happens off camera, and allegedly it happened in front of Darcey's girls. That's not good. This is one of those you're getting a little too good at your job situations. At this point, I'm not sure it matters how much of their life is fake when it's having such obvious IRL consequences. After spending a huge chunk of my life with them, watching them, I found myself rooting for them. Stacey and Florian have been great on Last Resort, so I am an official fan. All right, I'm gonna put some of the links I used for this video in the description. Coming down the pipeline, still working on my TLC villains video. In the meantime, you can check out some of my other 90-day videos. Peace.